And now, let FreedomRing2016.com, the radio show.
Paid for by Dr. Kumar Skiani for Congress 2016. Hi, I am Dr. Q. Please stay tuned. We are beginning in few seconds.
Hello, everybody. This is Jim Condit Jr. I'm Dr. Q's campaign manager and also his co-host on this show. Now, Dr. Q's running just a little bit late. He should be here any minute. Get the Facebook set up. We're going to be streaming live on Facebook at facebook.com/elect Dr. Q. That's just DRQ. So elect DRQ, elect Dr. Q on Facebook. We have also today, again, a return of our dynamic special guest, Nicky Nelson from out west, and she's going to be joining us. Now, those of you who have heard this before, if you haven't, this is the most dynamic hour in radio or TV, and by watching, and I'm not kidding politically, as some of you know who have listened to us, if you listen to us and look at our documentation, like the documentation at targetfreedomusa.com, you're going to be able to fill in the blanks and listen better to Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity and CNN, any of the news. You'll be able to fill in the blanks mentally that they will not tell you and really are not allowed to tell you. There's playpens erected around all these guys with gigantic microphones. So what I want to talk about first, though, is the Trump situation. There's been some developments this week on the electronic vote fraud dangers in the presidential election. Trump had, and I got to say, Sean Hannity has surprisingly done an excellent job in bringing this forth. On October 18th, on his radio show, in the last 15 minutes, he played Trump talking about there's, like 1,800,000 people that are dead who are registered to vote. He talked about the illegal aliens who, the Democrats, that's what I call most of the Democrats at the top, tried to get the, told all the illegal immigrants to get driver's license. And then, of course, in many states you can vote with just a driver's license. So that opens up millions of illegal immigrants to vote. But that is still not the main point. So the last 15 minutes of October 18th, I think it was Tuesday radio show on Sean Hannity nationwide, he had on a whiz kid named Ethan Pepper, who is really a great guy. It sounds like he's only about 25 years old. But he brought up that if you can hack into any computer, A. B, if you're going to switch one vote, you may as well switch 1 million votes, and that's about how easy it is. It's like changing the spelling on a Word document, changing a misspelled word for the people that own the programs. And then finally, he brought up that George Soros, the big left-wing billionaire, was connected with machines in 16 states. Now, I don't think George Soros is directly on the board, but he's on boards with the people that are on the board. He's very closely connected. But that's not even the main problem, because even if Soros was in 16 states, we now have a situation where 99% of our votes in the United States of America are counted on secret programs owned by 3 private companies, and those companies are ES&S, or Election and Systems and Software, which they use in Butler County and Cincinnati, Ohio, and we also have HART, which we use in Cincinnati, Ohio, Hamilton County, and then we have Dominion, which bought Diebold, because Diebold's name got too stinky. Now, these 3 companies, which you've probably never heard of, because the 5 TV networks will not tell you that they exist, they're hired. And I checked with one of the foremost experts in the voting field, Bev Harris, yesterday. She texted me back within 15 minutes because I said, I've been saying that 95% plus of our votes are counted by these 3 companies on secret computer programs. And she texted back and said it's now 99%. So 99%, it's not every county, but all the big counties, 99% of the vote is counted by 3 private companies, which you've never heard of because the 5 TV networks haven't told you about them, counted on secret software. Aha, Dr. Q has arrived. Counted on secret software that, now get this, the boards of election at the local county level and all 50 Secretary of States sign a contract not to look at the software. So when we get, that's right, it's unbelievable. So they totally abdicate their responsibility. And what we got happening in practical terms here is they could make it be 99% to 1 for Hillary on Election Day, or they could make it be 99% to 1% for Trump. It's up to them. They can have stolen in effect, they've taken our voting system out of our hands. This is the biggest story, in a way, of the election year. I've been on this story for 40 years, back since I was 23 years old, and still we have just this year started to make some progress. So Ethan Pepper on Hannity not only spotlighted that all these computers can be hacked, but but the main point is, if the owners of the software want to fix the election, they have unlimited capability to fix the election. We don't need hackers. They are the hackers. They own the software, and that's the way I'm going to tell you that it is. Well, I don't have time to go into it in depth that I'd like to. But so what's happened now, then a big development this week. On Wednesday, Newt Gingrich and Sean Hannity were talking about the vote fraud, and Gingrich mentioned the problem in Texas with the election machines, and Hannity said, 20 people have called into my radio show that said they pushed Trump and the computer flipped it to Hillary, and they had to call the election officials. Now, this, of course, this county was using ES&S, okay? The ES&S, election system and software, counts 60% of the American vote, just that one company. So that they had programmed their computer so that it flipped it to Hillary. Now, they pretend it's a mistake, but this happened in past years. It's happened in Maryland. So here's where we are. They could easily, on November 8th, put Trump or Hillary in, or they could put in Gary Johnson or Jill Stein. But the result has to be believable. And right now, it looks to me, thanks to Trump saying since August 1, which we were pushing him to do through our website, openlettertodonaldtrump.com, but we were pushing Trump for 8 months and his people to mention the dangers of computer rigging. Well, on August 1 in Columbus, he started saying, I'm afraid the November election is going to be rigged. This week, we got to the computer rigging finally, because his people must have seen Hannity, or he saw Hannity, and Trump tweeted and Facebooked out to 21 million on his social network that machines in Texas, computers, were flipping the votes from Trump to Hillary. That's the main danger. Everybody's talking about it. Almost everybody I run into who's following politics has heard of this story. They know that the computers are flipping votes from Hillary to Trump. Now, with that said, now we got more than half the nation, might even be much as 70% of the nation, if the polls are being falsified, are going to think this election was rigged if they announce that the dud Hillary Clinton wins.